them.
Oh my god.
This Prime Gaming agent select is
Jesus.
off the chains.
Okay.
You guys talk about
Evil Geniuses just played Chamber during map 3 of the Grand Finals. As a Chamber main, I wanted to analyze Demon1's gameplay and see what we can learn from it. At the end, there's some key takeaways about Chamber's future in the pro scene, so stick around for that. It's only round 1 and we already have something I've never seen before on Chamber. His buy is 2 Headhunter bullets and a Ghost, opting for no trip. So the idea behind this is when he's taking his fight showers, he can get rid of the Ghost weakness, which is the long range head dink, by using the Headhunter. After thinking about it, I really don't like this buy. If you're not going to buy a trip, there's 3 loadouts you should have. You can go Sheriff, you can go purely Headhunter, or you can go Headhunter Shorty. The Headhunter Shorty is definitely more of a defensive setup, but it's still something you can try out. Going Ghost Headhunter seems a little redundant. I feel like if you want to Ghost that bad, you can go full Headhunter bullets, and then once you get a kill, showers, or wherever he's thinking about playing, he can pick up the Ghost from the person he kills. So not buying a trip on the first round of attack is not that big of a deal, as long as your team's going like fast or defaulting. So you can not buy a trip, but just keep in mind in competitive ranked game modes, it's usually better to buy a trip because you don't know what your team's doing. On round 3, Demon1 decides to lurk with his Vandal full shield. He only bought a few Headhunter bullets to make sure he could full buy round 3. As you can see, he's opting not to use a trip this round. Obviously, the advantage to this is the enemies don't know you're lurking A, because if you had a trip showers and they push showers, they see their trip and they know you're there because you have to be within the range. As the round progresses, Demon1 takes a gunfight hookah and wins. After that, he made a pretty questionable choice, placing his TP out in the open. Once the smoke drops, he's completely exposed, so just a friendly reminder, when you're placing your TP, make sure you put it in a safe location. For round 4, we have a pretty similar setup to what we're used to seeing with Chamber. He's going to dry lurk through B while his team shows presence A, hoping to get information and maybe get a pick. He actually does end up getting a pick on Viper too. A good thing to notice about this round is when he pushes B site, he uses his trip for information. This is a really important thing you can do with Chamber, where if you're not going to use your trip to like hold map control, you can use it to gain map control. That way he won't have to clear the cubby or close to the tube either. This lurk ends up winning EG the entire round as FNATIC's forced to save all 3 rifles.
See a little bit of hesitation on Boaster, doesn't want to overcommit here. But the smoke's going up, should really solidify this, and Leo's going to hear a whole lot of presence. 2 flashes, still got the dog. With the plant down and 5 standing. So much to overcome.
An interesting pattern we're starting to notice with Demon1's Chamber is he's not doing the conventional trips. So far it's round 6 and he's not once tripped flank. Instead, every round, or the rounds he's at least used his trip, have been aggressive trips for information. For example, on round 5, he just places his trip out in the open trying to slow down the enemies. It actually doesn't catch anybody because it takes 4 seconds to activate since they're playing on patch 6.10. After the update with the Chamber buffs, this should be an effective strategy.
Targets defined, a little bit of an over-investment, it's enough to get him to his knees. The fuse is there.
For round 6, there's not much to talk about as EG win pretty decisively, but there's an important tip we can learn with Chamber's economy. Even though Chamber has a lot of money, he's like over 5,000 credits, he still uses Tour de Force. The reason is the enemy team's on a buy round, so this means if Demon1 lives, he can pick up an enemy's Vandal without having to spend money on his own. This creates a snowball effect where he'll be able to buy more teammates next round with the saved money. I really liked how EG incorporated Chamber into like set plays, sort of. So on round 7, you can see Reyna and Chamber both set up bench, but Chamber's peeking the angles first. That means when he creates contact or makes contact with the enemy team, he can shoot a bullet TP, and then the enemy team does not expect a second person sitting there because it just doesn't make sense. Why would you have 2 people there?
Trying to backfill this space now. Alpha, I don't think he'll know the second player here. Oh, Boostio, he didn't see either.
Wait, Boostio's cooking up something here. Oh, he's going ridiculously too deep, but Demon1 up for the trade. Look at Daka! Oh, he's got the moves! Daka dodges everything!
Setting up contact plays similar to this is super easy and something you can start doing in your competitive games ASAP. The next round was a fantastic round from Demon1. He dry lurks up showers again, like he's been doing pretty consistently, and then tries taking fights on site. The point of taking these fights is to demand presence from the enemy team, pulling rotates off the B site. As you can see, his team stacked on B, so the more rotates he can pull, the better.
Yeah, Dirk is here nice and early, but removes one of the heavy anchors for FNATIC. What else can Demon1 find here?
Oh, God!
He's so crisp.
Oh, the mouse will jump. Devastating for him. Durka probably had him dead anyway, if I'm honest, but they've drawn over 2 players just to deal with Demon1.
What
so
is
it's
this
left
ping?
Leo.
They pinged that position. They commit the pace out towards it. The awareness is insane from EG.
Super heads up work from them.
I may not be able to teach you how to aim like Demon1, but I can teach you how to lurk like him. So there are 2 main lurking styles Demon1 uses. The first one is where he'll go by himself without making any presence, waiting for the enemy team to rotate to the site his teammates are showing presence, trying to get rotates and maybe get map control so his team rotates. The other way is, like this round, he shows a bunch of presence, tries to get a kill, mainly staying alive. Like, staying alive is the most important part, because if he dies, he loses the pressure he's applying. And then once they rotate off the site of his team can take the site. Jumping to the next half, Demon1 opts for the same pistol purchase on defense. You've probably heard of the advice that watching ranked games can be more beneficial for improvement than pro play, and this situation highlights why. On defense, Chamber Strip can provide significant value, but EG has developed a specific strategy where they want Chamber to take initial contact and quickly rotate to the other site, rendering his trip useless. Skipping to round 15, we come across one of the major challenges faced by Chamber in the pro scene, utility usage. It's only round 3, and out of the 3 setups, he has been forced out of 2 without even engaging in a gunfight. Making matters worse, the enemy team has managed to disrupt his position by using just 1 Sky Flash. At the end of the round, Demon1 demonstrates a smart and quick play by placing his TP to reach safety. It's worth noting that this occurred before Chamber's buff, which allows him to move and shoot faster after teleporting.
Right hit here for FNATIC. One's looking to maybe bait in Com a little bit. And the TP away, but the
After losing round 17, he's able to use Tour de Force. Before we watch this round, let's pause for a second. As a Chamber player, this round killed me to watch. Let's consider a few scenarios. 1, Sky sends her dog short, and Raze uses his satchels. Chamber's unlikely to eliminate Raze, and even if he does, he'll likely be traded immediately. 2, Viper activates her wall, the enemy team contacts up short, and then pop flashes the wall. In such a situation, Chamber has no chance of securing a kill or a safe getaway with his awkward TP. 3, the enemy team executes a pinch from showers and short, leaving Chamber in a vulnerable one-and-done position. The only viable option I see for Chamber is to swing short with his operator and then use his TP. However, even in that case, there's a 50-50 chance regarding the enemy's position, and once he teleports, his teammates need to use utility to get him out. Let's see how it unfolds.
This is going to be on Demon1. Does he dare dip his toes ahead of this? You can see him considering it, but it's 4 players over there. Danger starting him out, he decides to back up. Okay, careful now.
It's important to note that playing aggressively with Tour de Force isn't inherently a bad decision. In fact, it's often the best choice since Chamber can't drop his weapon like he can with the operator. Additionally, during eco rounds, taking early fights can result in more weapons for his team. In the next round, he finally manages to avoid the Sky Flash and secure a pick.
But man on the other side, the big gun himself, Demon1. There it is, delivers perfectly. Dirk is dead in this round.
However, as the round progresses, Cypher successfully bypasses Chamber's trip when Demon1 deactivates
Slow
it.
them down here. Looking out for creeping closer on the other side of the map. It's still not done yet. And Ethan, the time to check on this is gorgeous. So much information on that.
30 seconds left.
Did they see Alpha?
spotted? No, he didn't.
Oh, Alpha! He's so deep on this too.
When your trip gets disabled, either due to distance or suppression, it's crucial to assume the worst case scenario. Close.
Reloading.
They can get my trip right now.
One
Yep.
enemy remaining.
So when you get knifed, watch your flank. Because that jet's just sitting there waiting for me to get knifed. Wow is all I can say about round 20. I know I haven't made part 3 of the Chamber Guide, which covers economy, but his buy in this round is a big mistake. One should almost never have more than 5 or 6 headhunter bullets unless credits are maxed. Here's the spoiler, EG loses the next 7 rounds, and guess what? Demon1 didn't use a single headhunter shot in any of the rounds, basically flushing 1200 credits down the toilet. Instead, he falls short on credits, preventing him from purchasing meaningful utility and weapons in multiple rounds. In round 21, with better resource management, he could have bought Sky by using 1 less bullet coupled with light shield, or buying only 3 bullets during the previous round. Moreover, he can't afford a trip. Moving on to round 23, Viper deploys her typical molly to flush out the enemy garden, then we witness a set play similar to one executed on bench during attack. The problem with this specific play is that Chamber should be peeking first. When Reyna peeks first, she's completely committed to the fight unless she gets a kill. whereas Chamber can shoot one bullet and TP to bait for his teammates.
Even make it onto these sort of stages, now forced to fight. Demon1, Boostio, forced to face the music as Durka, again doing so much damage.
In the last round of regular time, Demon1 manages to acquire an operator while still having 8 bullets, but he lacks a shorty and a trip. The absence of a trip in this setup has significant consequences. As you can see, he has to respect the possibility of an enemy walking up showers and drop from truck, as nothing is watching that angle.
He's trying to reposition now. I don't want to see him get caught off guard.
Oh, this is so tense. This is everything. It's a 3-2 split towards that A site, surely. And in matters of seconds, matters of moments, what can they achieve? Ults. Invested! Demon1! Grounds Durka and waits for that next pressure point pouring in through shower. They've already.
Despite Demon1's impressive shot, EG ultimately heads into overtime and loses the series. One minor point worth mentioning is that during overtime, he purchases all headhunter bullets instead of a shorty, which is not the most optimal decision. Additionally, avoid placing tripwires in locations where enemy repeatedly throws utility. There's only 2 or 3 rounds where Viper Molly wasn't used garden. Try not to waste your trip. Now let's talk about Chamber's future. I could discuss how people often misunderstand and misuse his utility, propose small buffs that Riot could implement, or analyze how the map pool impacts his pick rate. However, in reality, only one factor truly determines Chamber's future: Jett. As you may know, Chamber's highest pick rate is Vine. Now, does that make it his best map? Not quite. Surprisingly, 3 maps boast higher win percentages with Chamber. Vine has the highest pick rate primarily because Jett has never played on this map. Jett and Chamber share similar roles, making it redundant to have both agents in a competitive composition. While Chamber is pretty strong, Jett simply offers better synergy with other agents. In Masters Tokyo, Jett held the highest pick rate, leaving no space for Chamber to shine. There's a significant possibility that Riot may decide to nerf Jett, potentially limiting her to just 1 Cloudburst. Such a change would create a more diverse meta, encouraging increased pick rates from other duelists and Chamber. That being said, Chamber remains a formidable agent in ranked play. In ranked matches, agent synergies matter less since teams don't rely on set plays. Furthermore, ranked teams often struggle to properly use utility to counter operators. If you're considering playing Chamber or already have over 100 hours of experience with him, I highly recommend watching this comprehensive guide that explores various roles Chamber can fulfill and when to utilize them. To enhance your Chamber gameplay farther, be sure to check out my live streams on YouTube where I explain my in-game decision making and explore various setups.